Today's adventure begins as the recording of this Monday, September 1st, 2025. I am looking at my current hotel room in Atlanta, Georgia, downtown near Peachtree Center. It's a new day and a new month. August has come and gone and September is here. Checking out of this hotel, taking the MARTA train system to the airport and flying cross country. Let's get going. Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo here. As you can see in my face, could use some caffeine. Gonna go over here to the Westin, which is the hotel right across the way. Hopefully the line's not too long. Grab a piping hot caffeinated beverage. See, I'm not speaking clearly yet. Head to the MARTA station and then over to the Atlanta airport. And I'm off to the West Coast. I'm inviting you to join me. Also, today is Labor Day. And these are the accommodations I was staying at the last few days. Pretty decent, very overpriced because of the crowds that are down here. In fact, I think there's places that are a block away that way that are maybe even a tad nicer than this that I've stayed at before that were even less of a price point. But this was nice too. All right, let's get going. Inviting you to join me. Shall you? A lot of people checking out all the hotels around here. Also, the convention still happens today, but a lot of people do leave on the Monday. Went by Starbucks, the line was insanely long. So I might just make my way to the airport first where won't be as many people in line for coffee. To the trains, onto one of the largest escalators that I've ever seen in the US anyway. I mean, this thing is massive. Close comparison would be the escalators that go from the top of the mountain, Universal Studios Hollywood, two or three, well I think it's three or four that go to the bottom of the mountain, the top of the mountain, and up and down. But this one rivals that. I mean, it's massive. I can't think of any other two, at least in the continental US, or even all 50 states of the US, that would be this tall. Going into the underground tunnels, the MARTA system, subway. Interesting thing is I'm going from one tall escalator to an area where there's going to be another tall escalator because I'm going near Hollywood and that other escalator. So anyway, there's weird thoughts. I purchased my Breeze card here, one way $3.50. When I went from the airport down to Peachtree Center near downtown, I paid $3.50 one way, and now got another card, $3.50 back the other way. I also have daily and weekly passes, but this is the only place I went to and from Peachtree Center. So that's what I got. There's the bottom section of that really tall escalator right there. All right, airport bound. Some caffeine in my morning life here. Let's see, that's to all trains. Here we go. Beautiful. Southbound to the airport. Getting this little breeze pulling into the underground MARTA station. Mind the gap. I don't say that here though. It's a little gap. Get easy. Maybe 20 minutes on the train. The end of the line. Then it goes back the other way. This is the last stop and it turns around and goes back towards downtown and to other places. That's what MARTA stands for, by the way. Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority. MARTA. Back at the airport. Flight day. Just check my Delta app. I'm flying out of B14. These little displays here, these model planes. This glass case. I got plenty of time. Plenty of time before I take off. Look at this random post office, or mailbox I should say, full of stickers. There's stickers all over this thing. Just, I don't know if it's active or not. It's got stickers all over it. No explanation. Does it open? It does. I don't know if you put a piece of mail on there or not, if it will be get mailed out of the airport, but looks cool. It's an Atlanta Skyport summer. Photo op over here. Atlanta Skyport summer vibes. Walking through here, it's like you're walking through a shopping mall. And look at this, like atrium over in this area. Big clock right there. Looks like it's 15 minutes till noon. My flight doesn't take off, I believe, till around 2:30. Well, the checkpoints don't look too bad. They're not stretching all the way out here, so it might be pretty smooth. I got through TSA in about 3 minutes. That's it, 3 minutes. Evidently, Atlanta, unlike MCO, has a Sky Priority lane through my Delta points and all that. And they have a bypass line with Sky Priority, unlike MCO, which does not. So, fun fact, if you're in Atlanta and you got Sky Priority, you're good to go. I still got to get TSA and Global Entry, or not TSA, but Global Entry and all that, and to skip the line. I've just been putting it off. Knowing me, I'll finally get around to doing it when I'm not traveling as much. Anything that has to do with paperwork, replying to emails, I'm not the best at doing that kind of stuff. I'm good at certain things, but those aren't one of them. Next international trip is going to be in November. Maybe I could just make a personal pact to myself mentally to try to get Global Entry, which also has, I keep saying front of the line, but it's called something else, like the skipping taking your bag and having your bag searched and all that before my next international trip in November. And I'm also going to be home most of October. From the end of September, like the last week of September and most of October, I'm going to be home. So I'm going to be home for like a good 5 weeks, which might be the longest amount of time I'll be home in 2025. I've been going pretty consistently in 2025. But next international trip will be in November. November, December. And back to international. All right, there's two options. I can wait for the train, or I could just walk it. I think I might just walk. An enhanced walking. Because I'm on the moving platform also. I gotta go to the B gates. I like this little area here where you have the illuminated leaves on the ceiling. It's kind of neat looking. Provides a nice little peaceful ambiance. You're going from gate to gate. You can take the train, but I have plenty of time, so just stretching the legs, get a little walk in. A 4+ hour flight from here direct to LAX. No connection to that. I think it's 4.5, but that's tarmac to tarmac. Probably 4 hours in the air. I'm no professional, but I think that's the lingo. Another successful Dragon Con in the books. My 11th one. Ended that yesterday, did none of the convention today. Today's just the travel day. Don't know if I'll go back next year, but I'm sure I'll go back again at some point. I broke my streak after 10 years and I skipped last year with the purpose of not being tied to the mental state of not ever breaking a year. So broke that streak, so now I can just go when I feel like it.
Information on approved electronic devices can be found on that safety information card. That's complimentary Wi-Fi. It's going to be available for those of you who are SkyMiles members. If you're not already a SkyMiles member, it's real quick and easy to sign up.
landed all right. Oop. Sort of alarm. I don't know what's going on with that. So I landed, and I learned last time I was here, there's a shuttle bus that'll pick you up here and will take you around the horseshoe, that direction, goes all the way around, and then around the other side, the parking structures that are over there. And I call it the horseshoe because if you look at it from an aerial image, it is like a big horseshoe. But that bus that takes you to the taxi and or rideshare area takes longer than if you were to just walk it. So I tested that out last time I was here. Well, it's probably about the same time frame. But, you know, I'm sitting on a plane for 5 hours. I feel like walking, so I'm just gonna walk it. Over from the number 2 terminal gates. And I'll just walk over to the rideshare area. There's that iconic landmark there for LAX. I kind of just walked across this little pathway just to get an angle of that, because when you're over here where I was walking, you can't really see it as well. So I was mentioning earlier about how glad it's September and August is over. August was good, it was my birthday month. It's nice to have a fresh start. It's not as fresh of a start as like New Year's Day would be, but it is kind of nice to take 1 month and translate into the other one. So it just so happens that I'm leaving one state and going to another one on the 1st of the month today, which is September 1st as I'm recording this. It's been a good day. I'm feeling good today. It was an interesting weekend. It's an interesting Dragon Con. All in all, a success. Yeah, this weekend I was reminded pretty blatantly when I look back on certain situations that I lack tact and, well, let's just say the word. Sometimes I do not know how to handle certain social situations or talking to people as well as I think I'm going to. And then when I go back on that and look at it, I think, man, what happened there? So I've really kind of been considering this the last couple of days. I really need to slow down my brain a little bit when it comes to trying to just make things happen and really develop a little bit more decency, tact, and when I am trying to communicate with someone, or if someone approaches me and they're talking to me, or if I approach someone, talk to them, to let them speak and not over talk in those situations. It's definitely a huge problem, and chalk it up to whatever reason it is. I mean, I don't know the reasoning behind it. Maybe it's just, social awkwardness. Maybe it's me not really knowing what to say. So me not knowing what to say, I just say more than I should. Me almost asking a question and then not even letting someone answer it, and then asking something else. And I've seen this a lot in the course of myself recently in the last year or so. So I'm really going to work on that dramatically. Really going to try to and not just that aspect of it, but I really, myself as a whole, I want to try to bring it down a notch. Just bring it down just a little bit. Tone it down just a little bit. I've also noticed something about myself. Let's just be transparent here. But I don't know what it is, but in the last couple of years, I have gotten more aggravated by things and stressed out about things than I used to. And I've always kind of been that way, but I've noticed a pattern of me complaining more to myself and others that are around me. Anyone that's around me will probably notice that as well, than I should be. And I really want to work on that as well. I really want to maybe limit myself to less complaining during the days. Maybe give myself 3 or 4 good complaints a day instead of every little thing that I see internally or vocally, seeing that and go, oh man, why is it that way? So I'm going to work on that. I'm going to work on a lot of things. But those are the 2 things that I really kind of want to say. If I when I meet people, people approach me or I approach them, would really like to kind of slow the pace down a little bit. As a whole, I think just me in general might seem like I'm just kind of cruising. And in, you know, a lot of the content and what I do every day, I am. So I'm kind of winging a lot of it. But as soon as other people are involved, my brain just kind of goes, "Rrr." And I think that's my own fault. I think that's my own fault. I need to pace myself and stop being so anxious to stress myself out for absolutely no reason, and to kind of drive the conversation where it doesn't need to be, and just like, you know, don't overthink things. So those two things. I'm gonna try to be a little bit more mellow starting now. I'm gonna fail, but at least it has resonated. So I just wanted to put that out to the speaking out loud. See how I've been trying it today. It's been working pretty good with those who have come up and said hi, or people that I've interacted with. You know, getting the coffee, getting on the plane, things like that, where usually I would have that tunnel vision, go, go, go. Just trying to be a little bit more social, normal when it comes to the social realm. But we'll see how that goes. I guess different ways to describe it is, I think I just need to mellow out sometimes and not make such a big deal of things. Don't have a cow, man, Bart Simpson. So. Take a chill pill. That's another one. I think everything I'm saying is like 30-year-old statements. I'm not hip and up to date on new terminology. I'm an old man. We got taxis here, but I could also grab an Uber. Probably just grab an Uber. Yeah, it's just something I've really noticed in the last couple years. Probably in the last year and a half more than previous. I mean, I've always been this way, but I don't know. Just something in my brain has been. I mean, I'm always looking at the positive side, but sometimes it doesn't come out all the time. I don't know what I'm really trying to say, but I guess the best way really to describe it is it's just a habit. Sometimes you get in a habit, and when you do something enough, like let's say you'll see something like, oh man, why the heck is this cone here? Why isn't the cone over there? And if you say that to yourself, and then you walk up here, and then the trash can's full, it'll be like, how come they haven't emptied the trash can? Well, really, none of this makes any sense, makes any point in my life. But if you start doing it enough, then it just flows out of your mouth, and it just gets in your brain. It just resonates in your day. Don't sweat the small stuff, because none of it, in the grand scheme of things, really makes that big of a deal to your day-to-day life. I don't know, it's weird. Again, food for thought, things I've been thinking about. I just need to slow my pace down. I'm always always on a mission. I mean, you would never think it, but I'm always on a mission of some sort. It's just to make things happen and go, 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 and in a rush. Just need to slow it down. All right, I ordered the Uber. It says to meet over here at zone 22A. And it's showing less than 40 minutes from here to my hotel, which is at the Universal Hilton. Usually that would be an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. On a bad day, an hour and a half. But because it's a holiday today, as I'm standing here, it's Labor Day, 5:03. It should probably be complete rush hour, hour and a half. Yeah, I had a really good opportunity to talk to someone I really admire the other day at Dragon Con, and I kind of botched the whole thing. Handled it not in the best way. Should have simply just asked a question, let him answer it, but just Again, my weirdness, I was just talking over myself, talking over them. And then watching that back, it's just, yeah, wasn't my finest hour. They say they all can't be home runs. Well, this one wasn't even a base hit. It was a strikeout. But you can only live and learn. So, since that occurrence, in that situation, I'm really trying to see some things in myself that I could change a little bit. I'm always going to be a rule breaker. I mean, I'm always notoriously rebellious in a lot of ways. I'm not saying that aspect is going to change, but yeah. So my goal, again, just thinking out loud, I'm probably going to fail miserably, but really going to slow the brain down and try to handle certain situations with a little more tact, a little more thought process, and not try to take over the whole situation. And when I am, when I'm in those situations, to not be like that again. So I feel good today. I feel really good. Again, I'm never going to be a saint. My way my body and everything, and body and brain are worked, is I'm definitely rebellious by nature, but I got to find a better balance of rebellion and breaking rules, as opposed to being so blatant and uncommunicative about them. Could have handled the situation a little bit differently, and I didn't. And it's kind of opened my eyes a little bit. So if you see me, or if you're a friend of mine or an acquaintance or just a casual person, and you see a little bit of difference maybe in the way I handle things, or the way I present myself, or the way I meet people, or the way I, carry myself, or less things that I complain about, hey, we're noticing you're trying to make some changes. That'd be kind of nice. And if I fail at that, then it'd be like, dude, what the heck? Another broken promise. But that's what's on my mind right now. So, heading to my hotel. Good to be back in LA. I've also decided I'm not going to get bent out of shape over filming rules. This happened to me at the D23 Expo last year. It's been a year since D23. They've already announced next year, which is the first or second week of August. But last year, they wouldn't let me bring my camera into the parks panel, even though people had their phones. And then, of course, I was like, well, what's the difference between a phone and, my regular camera? People are bringing their phones in. Why can't I bring my camera? I had to run back to the car. It's like a whole stink about it. And then afterwards, I thought, why am I getting so bent out of shape about it? And that's happened quite a few times since then, when people have rules that are obviously set in place. So I think from now on, I'm just going to go with the flow. I'm just going to go with the flow. I'm not going to try to get bent out of shape as often. Maybe I'll get bent out of shape. Even if I got bent out of shape 65% of the time, less than I get bent out of shape before today, that's a success. Even 80%, even if I only get bent out of shape 4 out of 5 times compared to what I get bent out of shape about, that would be a success. Again, I'm not going to be 100% successful on this at all, but I'm going to try. Give a little shout out to my buddy Splore and Ryan also. He was at Dragon Con with me. We were all eating dinner yesterday lunch before I headed out and he headed out. I had to go back to my hotel, but he ended up heading home. We were all sitting around talking, and there was a big group of us, and a couple of us were chiming in with some complaints. When friends get together, they're whining and complaining and gossiping, etc. And he just casually said something that kind of resonated with me a little bit too. That kind of, since I've been having these thoughts, that kind of was the cherry on top, because I've been having these thoughts for a little while now. Not just this weekend, but over the past year or so. But really has culminated in the last few days. And he finally just chimed in and said, I'm just kind of tired of complaining. I don't think I'm going to complain anymore today. And I like that. And you know what? I haven't complained once today. Wow, that was like a 35-minute. Wow, might be closer to 40. Between 35 and 40 minutes to get from LAX to the Universal City Hilton. Never. Well, probably since 2020. I've been able to move along that quickly. I would imagine other holidays too are probably that way too, but wow, that was just like smooth sailing. Not one moment where it was bumper to bumper or gridlock or anything, so pretty happy. That was just, that was great. That was great. Go check in now. All right, smooth sailing also on the check-in. There's like really no one at the front check-in desk. Granted, it's 6 p.m. and I have a non-Universal theme park view room. I have the Hollywood Hills side, but I got a nice decent sized bed here to slumber in. It's been a great day. Good flight, good thought process, nice view of the room. Gonna relax a little bit, turn in early. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video. The vlog is I've given these room tours more than enough time, so you get the idea. But yeah, I'm staying here for a little while. The vlog is over.